Good morning, and it is National Championship
Yeah, it is.
Monday,
Let's
baby.
go.
Wow.
Welcome to the Three Ball Podcast, where college basketball lives beyond the arc. I'm ACC Adam,
I'm mid-major Michael.
And I'm Deep Dive David.
and we are just three dudes who are crazy about college basketball.
Yeah, we
and
are.
Guys, it's the end of the season.
How did this happen?
I don't
I
know.
can't believe it.
I was just
literally
watching
can't believe
Drake
it.
versus Northern Arizona on the Field of 68 marathon in class.
Yeah.
I
The first
know.
day.
Yeah.
What a shame. What a shame. What has happened?
I don't
But, guys, today the portal opens.
Ooh.
And
Exciting
today
day.
is the national championship game, as we mentioned.
Let's go.
And that is what this podcast is going to cover because we can handle the portal at another time. Let's celebrate these two teams who have made it all the way in March and now into April.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we're going to preview that game. We're
Yep.
going to do a little bit of history on the national championship game. We're going to break down Michigan, and we're going to break down UConn.
Yep.
And we're going to do a little pick'em segment and see who comes out on top.
Yeah.
Yep.
So make sure you stay tuned throughout the podcast. Let's do this.
Let's roll.
A three. Good! You can't be serious with that shot.
History is on the line
It
tonight in Indianapolis between UConn and Michigan.
Yep.
And obviously, these are two incredibly historic teams. And obviously, the NCAA championship is the highest, most historic thing. And that's what I want to talk about. I
do
want to
it.
talk about history, specifically with the national championship
Uh-huh.
game and this UConn and Michigan teams.
Yeah.
Let's start with UConn
Okay.
because I think history is probably the wrong word to use here. But like this UConn team, they are new bloods.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
have not won a championship before. What was it, 1999?
1999.
Yeah, and they've won. This is their potential seventh.
Seventh.
So
Since
I mean,
99.
guys,
That's
let's talk about this
crazy.
UConn team. Oh my gosh, what are they fighting for? Besides, obviously, a national
They're
championship.
fighting for history. I
Yeah.
mean, Alex Caravan is trying to do something that no player in the modern era of college basketball has ever done, and that's win 3 championships in 4 years. And to put in perspective, Bobby Hurley was 18-1 in March Madness. He has a chance to be 19-1, so he has a chance to be the all-time winningest player in March Madness history, which is crazy to think about.
That's insane.
Wow.
And to put in perspective, guys, Michael's talked about this a lot, but Connecticut is the outlier.
Yep,
And to give a little
they are.
perspective on that, this is their 7th national championship game. They are 6-0. They've never lost a national championship game.
That's crazy.
And only 2 of the 7 times they've made the national championship game, they've been a 1 seed.
Yep.
All 5 out of the others, they've been a 1, a 3, a 7, a 4, and a 2 this year.
That's crazy.
They made it as a 7, which is insane, and
Yeah.
1. So
yeah.
And a 4.
and a
Yeah.
4.
Walker.
And so this is insane to think about. It just goes back and forth to show you that they've had dogs. They've had Rip Hamilton,
Yeah.
Emeka Okafor, Kemba Walker, Shabazz Napier, Adama Sanogo, and Tristan Newton. They've had studs and great coaches. Jim Calhoun, Kevin Ollie, and Dan Hurley. They've had elite
The
coaching.
coaches have been insane
so
amazing.
good.
for Connecticut.
And it's getting to the point where if you're a college basketball player, and like you said, the portal does open, I don't know how you don't consider or go to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to win, I don't know where else you go at this point.
I mean, at this point, we call them new bloods, but I mean, I think they are the blue blood
I agree.
at this
No,
point.
I completely agree.
Like
I agree.
for what they've done in the last, since 2000, it's just unbelievable,
Unbelievable.
unmatched.
No, especially
insane.
even what they've done in the NIL era.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
have been the
Absolutely.
most consistent winner in the NIL era, and to kind of prove that, just in recent history, they have won 19 Sweet 16
Yep.
or Elite 8 games on second weekend games on 19. That streak started in 2011.
Wow.
15 years ago. They have not lost a Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, and Natty game since before 2011. Like, let that process, let that sink in.
That is unbelievable.
insane.
I mean, I
Insane
can't
to
think of a
think about.
single other team that comes close
No.
to that.
I mean, it's just Connecticut. It's
Yeah.
just what they do. But they've either got eliminated in the round of 32, which they have a couple times, or if they make it past that, they win the national championship.
Well,
Imagine saying, "Oh, we just have to make it past the round of 32."
yeah,
Literally.
and then we're good.
I mean, their only loss, like Alex Caravan's only loss in the tournament, is a 2-point loss to the national championship Gators last year in the round of 32.
In round 32, yeah.
And that's only because
Walter Clayton.
Walter Clayton
Yep.
caught
His
fire.
historics.
Was insane.
I mean, Connecticut was winning that game the most of the year
Yes,
of the game, which is
exactly.
just wild to think about.
So I mean, Carabin could have 4 if Walter Clayton doesn't catch fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absurd.
And imagine just being like a normal student at UConn. Like if you're a senior this year, you're spoiled. You're never
yeah.
having like a better 4-year experience at a college
Never.
ever.
For any sport.
Any
honestly.
sport. And then you're gonna go and be an alum, and in about 10 years, if they kind of like hit a lull, you're gonna be like, "This
is
back in my
terrible."
day, back in my day." Oh
Yeah.
my goodness!
If they lose a game past the Sweet 16,
Alex
you'll be
Carabin in
disappointed.
15 years is gonna be the head coach, and you're gonna be like wanting him out. But
There's no way that UConn blood runs way too
it
deep.
does.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm really glad, especially with Dan Hurley, obviously we know he's crazy.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
we know his personality and everything.
Yeah.
But we know, what was it, 1 or 2 years ago when he tried to go to the Lakers?
Oh yeah. That just wouldn't have
Yeah.
worked.
Was it 2 years
It
ago?
was.
It was.
2024.
So 2 years ago, and then they lost in the round of 32.
No, that was a couple year before, 2 years before that. They
24
won
they
the
won the
Natty.
championship.
They won the Natty.
That
and
was
then-
their 1 seed dominant. Year.
That was the year
Gotcha.
that UConn team. I mean, if you pick
Unbeatable.
someone,
Was that
if you pick
Stephon
someone
Castle
else
Yes.
to win the
Yes.
championship,
Gotcha.
I don't know what you were doing.
Yeah,
that
no,
year.
they were the best
Yeah.
team in America.
Yeah.
By far, hands down.
Yeah, and then they go and lose in the round of 32 the next year.
Yeah.
And now Dan Hurley's just back up to championship
Yep.
form.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
One down year.
yeah,
quote
nobody
unquote.
ever assumed that UConn was going to fall off
No.
because of the history that they've had since 1999. But, oh my God, Dan
unbelievable.
Hurley.
I mean, it makes sense. Did y'all see you were talking about his antics. Did y'all see the clip? It's so funny. It was him and Dusty May doing their interview for the Natty tomorrow together. And they were talking about the incident of rubbing the heads, right? And Dusty goes, he got by AI. He goes, did
Oh,
you do it to
no.
Tracy Wolfson too? And Dan goes, no, that was AI.
Oh, no.
It was so funny.
Did you really do that to Tracy? Was it AI?
That was AI.
Funny,
Sometimes
though.
you forget that these all are older.
I mean,
guys,
Dusty
you
May's
know?
49, so
Yeah.
like you forget
These
about
are
that.
50-year-olds.
Poor guy.
But I'm like, he
Take
got
his Twitter away.
he got by AI. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's tough.
was-
It happens to the best of
Hey,
us.
it was so funny though.
That's so
Well,
unfortunate.
speaking of Dusty May, Michigan's got some
Yeah.
history in the
They do.
in the
No,
national
seriously, it's
championship
not
game
just
as well.
Connecticut.
It's not just Connecticut. They kind of are on the different side of history.
Yes.
They this is their 7th Final Four, and guys, they have won every Final Four game they've ever played in. Unfortunately, they're 1-6 in the Natty.
Yeah, that's tough.
So
that's tough.
their only win was in 1989, an overtime game against Seton Hall. The Fab Five lost in back-to-back Natties,
Yep.
which is just
that's
crazy
terrible.
to think about. And then if you're around our age, you remember in 2013 they lost to Louisville,
Yep.
the team
Trey
led by
Burke.
Trey Burke.
Yeah.
And then in 2018 they lost to Villanova when Dante DiVincenzo just completely
Took over.
skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And so they've made it there. They just can't get over the hump. And Dusty May said this in his practice yesterday. Guys, this is exactly who, if we're going to be on the mountaintop of Michigan, there's no other better team to knock off. They've been there. And like they are the standard of college basketball right now. And it's going to take a heroic effort. However, it would really, like, if you beat UConn, you beat UConn
Oh,
in this
yeah.
tournament. And so it was really cool to see that. But this Michigan team, if you're just looking at paper and analytics,
Unbelievable.
if you're just looking at paper, if they play
Off the
to their
charts.
ceiling,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing. But
Yeah, no,
that's
literally.
when the outlier of the experience and the coaching.
But
And-
Michigan has experience too, not
Exactly.
in tournament necessarily,
Yes.
but just in general.
Oh, Michigan's old.
Yeah,
They're
they're very
old, too.
old.
They're portal and they're
Yep.
old. But that's how you win in March.
Yep. Yep. it
They
is.
beat Arizona by 20 plus points, guys.
I mean,
was
they-
it 18 at the
Well,
end?
yeah, it
of
ended
the
up
day?
being,
I mean,
yeah,
it
still.
was a
They
whooping.
killed that
They
team.
were winning that whole entire game. They just took
like,
control.
Like
It's
that
just-
was absurd.
I mean,
Jackson
yeah.
Lindenborg got injured, and then Michigan went on
Yep.
like a 10-2
Yep.
run.
It didn't matter.
Like-
It didn't
Yeah.
matter. And what's crazy is, guys, if you watched Feast Week and what they did, it looked
Oh,
like Feast
yeah,
Week
it's the same
Michigan.
thing.
It looked
Yeah.
like Feast Week Michigan on Saturday. It looked like Gonzaga was the opponent.
Yep.
And they were it didn't matter who was the opponent that night. They were going to
Yeah.
run through them like a train. To get off the tracks, save the women and children, because Michigan coming through.
Yeah. I mean, again, these were the two best teams, and Michigan's proved that they were just a little bit better. Well, maybe even a lot better.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, though, because that Arizona team was so good. And
They were.
You could argue they were just neck and neck the whole season with Michigan.
Wow.
But in this one game,
Can't
Michigan,
argue it really anymore.
I mean, you can. It was just one game.
For
but
sure.
the fact that in this one game, they just took control, and that
Yeah.
was just unbelievable to watch.
The coaching job by Dusty May in that game unbelievable. Like, yeah, I'm sure you saw it in the pregame. They showed clips of him shooting, the team shooting in the big house, the football stadium.
Yeah.
They wheeled in a basketball goal to get depth perception.
Yeah, that's
Genius.
smart.
That is
yeah.
smart.
And they realized that Arizona was going to take away the lob threat, so they were having Elliot
saw that too.
Cadeau throw passes intentionally off the backboard that looked like shots, so that the defense would come help, so Mara could get a tip back every time.
Yep.
And so Dusty made it even think about that. Just he might be a genius, guys, at this point.
But, we talked about UConn's history since 2000, but Michigan's trying to break a curse since
Oh,
2000.
yeah.
That's true.
Which
The
we
Big
talked
Ten.
about, but the Big Ten has not won a national or had a team that won national championship since 2000.
Yeah,
And Michigan is
and it's
trying to break
Michigan
that,
State
so-
out of all teams.
And it was
too.
Michigan State
And I
in 2000.
guarantee you, Michigan's going to let Michigan State know if they
Oh,
win
yeah.
a national
Oh,
championship.
absolutely.
Poor Michigan State.
They've made like 8
Yeah.
Final Four since 2000.
They have.
Poor Michigan State, because not only has Indiana won the Natty,
Oh, yeah.
but
Oh,
they've
yeah.
been overshadowed by Michigan. Also has won the
Yep.
Natty recently.
Yeah, no.
And now Michigan's in the championship game. Just poor Michigan
Mi-
State. It must be a terrible time to be in
Yeah.
East Lansing.
Honestly,
as a
yeah.
student.
Unless you're Tom Izzo, and then but the problem with Michigan State is I feel like they're playing the same way pre-NIL as they are post-NIL. Like
Yeah.
they haven't really adapted.
I mean, the
think-
whole team started at Michigan State. It's the concept of they had
Yeah.
no starters that were transfers.
Yeah.
Which we love
So,
to see.
yeah, it's
You
good
love
to
to
see,
see it.
but it's
Yeah.
not. We're in a different era.
But I
You
also
have
saw
to
the
adapt.
argument if you got offered like a Michigan, and your portal guys become the best lineup in the country, you're not going to get mad that they didn't start at Michigan.
That's
Like,
exactly.
I'm sorry
Yep.
if you're going
I
to tell
agree.
me if you're a fan and you're 5 portal
wanna
guys-
win.
Yeah, literally, you just want to win at this point. If you're a fan at university. But going back to some iconic national championship moments, we got to talk about it because this game brings out the legends.
It
right?
does.
It makes we talked about it earlier. We got Dante DiVincenzo, who skyrocketed up the draft boards because of this game. You got Chris Jenkins, the incredible shot. You got Mario Chalmers' shot to send it to overtime against Memphis, and they ultimately win the national championship game. You got runs capped off like Shabazz Napier, Kemba Walker, Anthony Davis, who ultimately led their team on runs. And Anthony Davis, guys, in the Natty, he had 16 rebounds and 6 blocks. Just
Like, guys,
it's
It
ridiculous.
was such a pleasure to watch Anthony Davis.
And so
It was.
it'll be awesome to see if we have a guy who is maybe because Yaxel's a little banged up. Solo ball was in a boot yesterday. Will we have someone step up that hasn't really been there this year? We like a Trey McKinney or like a Jaden Reed, like an under the radar guy.
Yeah.
Just had the game of his life. You never know. That's why March is so great. You never know who's going to step up.
Yeah, literally. I mean, and we've already seen that. We've already seen that from Mullins, and we've already seen that from McKinney. On
Yep.
two
Yep.
opposite sides of the board.
Yeah, McKinney had 16 points against Arizona off the bench.
He was amazing.
He
that
was
was
awesome.
a huge impact.
Weren't you the person that
It was
said
David.
it was David?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah,
Like,
and I was sitting there. I was like, he is by far their best volume 3-point shooter,
Yep.
and Michigan is going to look to exploit the 3-point line because Arizona unwillingly doesn't shoot threes, and so. I just realized that he was going to have a huge impact, and I thought Cheddar was going to have an impact too. Cheddar had an impact, but it was not from the 3-point line. Cheddar had more of an impact than he thought he was going to have because Yaxel went down.
Yeah.
But I also said Michigan was going to get in foul trouble. They did get in foul trouble. It just didn't matter.
Yeah,
No.
which
literally.
is so funny. But
I think Mara had like 3 in the first half.
dude, they all
right?
had
Yeah.
3. Mara, Lindeborg, and Johnson all had 2 in the first half before the under 4. So I was like, I don't know what they're going to do, but
That didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Whatever Dusty did
Yeah.
was right. So
No, it
that's
did not
interesting.
matter.
But also, guys, I've seen a lot of discussion about this. I think Indianapolis might be the best spot for the Final Four in the national championship game. It's the way
Definitely wasn't San Antonio last year. I can tell you that.
San Antonio wasn't terrible.
It was fun.
What I've saw on Twitter for most of the people who attend the Final Fours, they actually said Indianapolis by far the best, and then they say San Antonio is kind of a close second. But I wonder if that's just because of recency bias of being the last
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
But I also will say Indianapolis has hosted 8 since
Yeah.
like 1990.
I mean, the fact that like Indianapolis, Indiana, like that area is like the
Headquarters.
birthplace of the sport too.
And its
you know?
NCAA headquarters
Yeah.
are there. So it makes sense. And guys, there's been some iconic games in Indianapolis, like the last Big Ten Natty. Michigan State was there. We had the Gordon Hayward shot in Indianapolis. We had Kentucky being perfect, losing in the Final Four in
That
Indianapolis.
was so unfortunate.
And then we had Baylor Gonzaga, which Baylor was just a drum saw in that game and just ran through them. That was also in Indianapolis. So maybe Indianapolis will deliver another moment for us tonight.
I mean, in
Let's
this
hope.
matchup, this will be I mean, it'll be such a fun game to watch.
It will be.
Because these are two, and we'll get into it later, but these are two very conflicting styles
Very.
of play.
That's why it's going to be fascinating. And I'm sure Michael has got great information about this because he is an analytical genius. But the
genius.
Connecticut, I would love to see how they do because they just played Illinois, who was very slow tempo. It was slow, very slow. Duke is pretty up tempo. But I would love to see and they got down early and kind of had to play fast to get back up. I would love to see how Connecticut does against up-tempo teams to where it's like neck and neck and they don't have to change.
Yeah.
I would love to see, are they going to try and run with Michigan? Because they're not going to be able to.
No, they won't.
Yep.
And so that's the thing. If Connecticut gets down early, I don't think they'll be able to come back.
I mean, that's the thing in this tournament. If you look at UConn's run so far, they have only played. I mean, Duke isn't necessarily a super up-tempo team overall. So the point being, they haven't really played a team like Michigan. That's just going to run and gun.
Michigan State is not up tempo.
Not at all.
UCLA is not up tempo.
Illinois is.
Furman's kind of up tempo, but that doesn't really matter. It's a
That's
mid-major.
the thing is that
It's a mid-major.
It's a 15 seed.
And so, like, that's where it's like, this will be a clash of style of what Connecticut has played all year. And especially, there's not many up-tempo teams in the Big
there's
East
not.
either.
St. John's is the only one I can think of, and St. John's did beat them twice.
And also,
So-
St. John's can't really shoot like Michigan can.
Yeah,
So that's that. And Michigan has more size, and Michigan's better defensively. So.
physical.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting game. And I say that we just hop straight into the game preview.
I agree.
To be completely honest, because, guys, it's the Natty. And obviously, two incredible teams, two incredible coaches, two incredible storylines that we've already covered. But you still got to play the game.
You
You
do.
still got to play the
That's why
game.
it's March.
You know, you can do all of this pre-prep, but at the end of the day, it's going to be decided on the court tonight.
Yeah.
And I feel like the first thing that we both need to focus on is just the defense.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Because, like,
Yep.
I love offense. Obviously, I think offense is what draws people to the sport, but defense is kind of what makes you appreciate it.
I agree.
Yep.
And Michigan's defense, adjusted efficiency,
good.
for KenPom, the number one overall team.
Yep.
And we kind of saw that with Arizona too, because while I was watching the game, they really forced Arizona out of their comfort zone. They
100%.
forced them.
They
They
do.
forced them to take threes,
Yep.
and Burris just wasn't hitting
At all.
And the any other Arizona player just wasn't hitting.
Bradley had foul
unfortunately.
trouble. Burris wasn't hitting, and it was just a disaster.
Yeah,
was
and
tough.
they forced an Arizona team that plays inside of the paint
Mm-hmm.
to completely abandon it. I mean, and when you have players like Koa Pete abandoning the paint,
Is a problem.
and it shows
Yeah.
how good Michigan's defense is,
is.
especially on the interior.
100%.
So, I mean that's just incredible from Michigan, and
sure.
Connecticut's not even much worse. I mean, they're
No.
number 8,
Yeah.
like in adjusted efficiency.
The biggest difference about these two defenses is Michigan is top 15 in the country in not fouling,
Yep.
and Connecticut is 307th.
They
Connecticut
foul a
fouls
lot.
a lot.
Yeah,
and so Michigan will get more free throws than Connecticut will, and that kind of just tests to the style of defense they play. Connecticut likes to take more risks. They like to be more physical in the paint, whereas Michigan has the size where they can dominate their top 3 in the country in blocks, and yet they don't even, and they're top 15 in not fouling. So that just shows you that they can dominate the paint without fouling because of their legit size. Like they have Mariah Johnson playing the 4. He's a 5 on 98% of Power 5 teams. And so it just makes you look at the paint and go, yes, Taurus Reed, that's going to be fascinating because Taurus Reed has had his way. And Illinois had height, but they did not have the physicality that Michigan has. And so it'll be very fascinating to see that matchup. What does Connecticut and Michigan, they're going to have, because Caravan plays the 4, and so he's going to want to play on the perimeter. You're going to have Mraz Johnson chasing him on the perimeter. You're going to have Mara chasing him on the perimeter. Or it goes the other way around. You're going to have Caravan trying to guard Mraz Johnson in the paint. Like, that's a problem.
That's going to be tough.
And so that is going to be interesting to see who wins that matchup, because that's going to be huge. Because if Caravan's on and takes Mraz Johnson away from the paint, that's huge.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I think also this game is going to be one on the boards. I mean, these are both
Yes.
two
Yes.
elite rebounding teams. And if Michigan, which, I mean, they have the height advantage. So if Michigan can utilize that to its fullest ability, that could be a real problem with UConn.
I can see
Because that's
it.
somewhere where they win games.
Yes.
Is the board. So if they're not able to take advantage of that, I don't see how they can even impact Michigan at all.
I agree. No, it'll be interesting to see. Like I was saying, Taurus Reed is their impact
Yeah.
on the boards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, are they going to go with the physicality of Johnson, or are they going to go with the sheer length and ability of Mara? And so, I think they're both going to match up on him at times. And one thing I will look at is another thing I think this game will be interesting. As I mentioned this earlier about Connecticut fouling a lot, but free throw shooting is going to be huge.
It will be.
And if you look at Michigan's free throw shooting and who their best free throw shooters are, it is not their point guard. Cadeau is 69%.
Yep. It's crazy.
Trey McKinney is 90% and Cheddar is 89%, and then Yaxel's 81%. They are a good free throw shooting team. But the people who shoot free throw are good at shooting free throws don't shoot a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
Like Cheddar's only shot 33 on the year, and McKinney's only shot 90 on the year. And so they don't shoot a lot. And so it'd be really fascinating to see because Dusty May hasn't been in a lot of close games where you get foul and free throw shooting. So if it gets to that point, who's going to take them for them? Are they going to go with the guys of Yaxel and Cadeau where they're not amazing free throw shooters, but they have more volume and trust? Or are they going to go with the guy? I mean, Cheddar's 30 for 33. And then McKinney is like 84 from 90. And so you're going to go for that, but McKinney's a freshman. And so that's going to be a huge decision. If anyone's got it, it's Dusty May.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated to see if the game gets to that point, what Michigan and how they handle real live game pressure because they haven't had that in a while.
And
so.
speaking of pressure, I think one thing that UConn can use, even if the rebounding battle is not going their way, is the turnover margin.
Yeah.
And this is something that Michigan, I talked about how fast they play. If UConn can slow them down and force them into making, brainless mistakes like Michigan has done throughout this year, I think that really could impact this game because it's not a Michigan team that is flawless.
Yes.
Like they do turn the ball over, not a lot, but they have turned it over in pretty crucial moments.
Cadeau turns it
as
over
well.
a good amount.
Yeah, so I think that could be an impact on this game as well.
Another impact that is Connecticut had really struggled to shoot from three in the tournament and was really good against Illinois. They dominated the 3-point line from Illinois. And if you scroll down and look at some of their percentages from players as a team, I would not have guessed that Solo Ball is a 29% free throw 3-point shooting. With the way he shoots, you would think he's 45%.
Yep.
That boy
He has
shoots
250 attempts on the season.
He shoots a lot of threes.
He's a volume
And
shooter.
Braylon Mullins is only 33%. So it's interesting. They kind of outshot their averages against Illinois. Will they fall back down to the averages?
That's the question.
Demery doesn't shoot that much. He's 38%, and so is Caravan. And so Caravan is the one where he can get going. He's the one that, like, the numbers and the volume back it up. But Solo Ball and Braylon Mullins are the wild card. If they are shooting from three like they did against Illinois, I think that they have the ability to match the 3-point line from Michigan, that's a huge reason they beat Illinois is they took away the 3-point line, which Illinois usually has the advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and this Connecticut team, they literally dismantled the number one offense,
Yep, they
which
did.
was Illinois.
Yeah.
And then they outshot them from three. Like that is absolutely absurd. And I feel like we're not giving we always give credit to Dan Hurley, but I feel like we're not giving enough credit to kind of how he dealt with the tallest lineup in the entire NCAA.
It was impressive.
And we talked about Michigan's size. UConn's seen it before. They're battle tested.
They are.
They just saw the tallest team in the entire nation.
I will say Michigan does play a little more physical than Illinois does overall.
Very true. Yeah, they kind of settle for 3-pointers, and Michigan likes to dominate the paint. So it will be interesting to see what Taurus Reed can do. But this game's going to come down to who can shoot the best, and obviously that's kind of just college basketball in general.
Yeah.
Got to score points.
But Michigan on the year they're better percentage wise.
Yeah.
And so if we're just looking at averages, is that kind of favors Michigan?
It does.
But obviously, it's the national championship.
Yeah.
Also,
It's one game.
Yeah, it's one game. It's not the whole average over the year.
and Connecticut also runs really good sets. So I think that's another thing is, will they be able to get into their sets, or is Michigan going to force them to have to play half-court defense like they did with Arizona when they took away a lot of their plays? And so that's another fascinating thing. And to piggyback off your Dan Hurley point, Adam, another thing is he does really good prep against teams with height. To give you perspective, Illinois' last 3 years, their lowest point total in the 3 years, 2024, Elite Eight against UConn scored 52. 2025 against UConn scored 61. And 2026 this year against UConn, 62. All 3 games were against UConn.
Yep.
That's
And so
crazy.
Hurley might have their number, but it just shows you that he has the ability to prep for an opponent and take away what they're really good at.
Oh, absolutely.
And Illinois' offense was clearly their calling card.
Yes, absolutely. And we get to see what will happen kind of in this game. It's going to come down to bench specifically.
Depth is going to be huge in this game.
I'm expecting big minutes out of Trey McKinney
Yeah.
and Roddy Gale.
Yep.
And I expect a big game from them offensively and defensively. Like, I mean, this can't be an SMU situation where your bench only scores 2 points in
Nope,
the
you
entire
can't.
game.
Roddy
Like,
Gale's
yeah, that was
fascinating
crazy.
because Roddy Gale is a really good defender, and if Yaxel is getting completely taken apart on defense because he's hobbled,
That's
I think Roddy
that's
Gale.
another thing we gotta talk about.
I think Roddy Gale will be able to slide in defensively. He is not the player offensively Yaxel is,
No.
but he is a really good defender, and I think he can help if it gets to the point where Yaxel could just be on that corner guy and Roddy really takes over, because Yaxel usually plays on a very good offensive player on defense. So that'd be fascinating to see how Dusty May uses his bench. But yeah, the health of Yaxel and Solo
That's
Ball
huge.
It
is
is
huge.
huge. I mean, obviously, Axel will be playing. There's nothing that would stop him from playing this
No.
game.
No.
But I mean, he is hurt.
Yes.
So he
Oh,
is going
clearly.
to be playing
Objectively.
hurt. So I think that it will be interesting to see. I mean, just seeing how his movement's able to be like on defense. If he's going to be a little bit of a liability, we don't know
Yes.
yet.
And
I
you
think
know
that-
Dan Hurley is going to run him off screens.
yeah.
He's going to screen him.
Absolutely.
He's going to do everything it takes to test that mobility in the
will
first
be.
8 minutes of the game.
Yep.
So you want to see where Yaxel is at. So
Yeah. And we also talked about Solo Ball.
yeah.
yeah, that dude
Like,
was in a cast
he's in a
yesterday.
boot.
A boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the fact, I mean, obviously every team has injury problems, but the fact that two
At this point, yeah.
major players on other sides of the of the score.
At this point, I think Solo Ball's just glad his left arm's not in a boot, because as long as he can shoot, he on the
Yeah,
court.
That's
Literally
true.
at this point, like just put that guy in the corner and
Yeah.
just pray what
Literally.
he can do.
man.
But I really hope that this game comes down to a late game situation.
Oh yeah,
I do too.
Of course.
Because obviously, and also there, UConn has played a lot more close games.
They
We talked
have.
They
about
have.
how good this Michigan team is. I mean, yes, they're battle tested, but they're not late game tested.
They're
They just
blowing
blow. They
people
just
out.
blow
They
teams
just
out.
win.
Like, are you going to be able
Yep.
to do it whenever the adrenaline is
Yep.
through the roof and you can't even feel your body because
Yep.
of the impact of your decisions?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, UConn has been able to do it.
No,
Like,
I mean, that's the
we'll
thing
see.
about UConn that I've talked about all season is it's annoyed me so much how in the Big East play they just cannot, win like a solid game. Like Seton Hall played them close, Villanova played them close, Providence, Creighton will beat them, Marquette. Point being that, like, yeah, all these teams they played. I mean, some of those they lost, but
Yeah.
they've played in so many close games. Like you said, that Michigan hasn't this year. So
Yeah.
you could argue, is that a benefit for UConn? Maybe.
Or,
There's a little bit of
or
a-
Michigan could just pull a UCLA versus
blow
Texas
'em out.
women's basketball and just blow
Yeah,
them out.
that's also a possibility. I mean, this Michigan team can blow out anybody.
It
They're
can.
such a good team.
No, it'll be interesting because Elliot Cadeau really controlled the game against Arizona.
he's
And so he is going to be tasked to do that as well. And Demery is going to be on him just like Jaden Bradley was. And Demery's a great defender as well. And so it'll be very fascinating to see how Elliot Cadeau plays. He's the engine that gets everyone in their spots. I think he has to have a big game tonight for Michigan to do well.
Yeah, and one thing, I mean, we talked about Michigan's physicality. Jaden Bradley, he got into foul trouble super
He
early
did.
on,
Picking up
and
his
that was
fourth.
because of 2 offensive fouls.
Yep.
And they really, I mean, they just pushed like Arizona to the absolute brink,
did.
and Arizona tried to match that physicality, and they just overdid it.
Yep.
And that's where the 2 offensive fouls came in. And as soon as your best player gets 4 with like
It's hard.
what
17 minutes left in the
like 4 minutes
second
into
half?
the second half,
Yeah, you're
the
cooked.
game was over.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Arizona just wasn't able to recover.
Nope.
So we'll see if I mean, but also on the flip side, UConn, they have that championship experience.
They
To
do.
be like, Caravan can just go out there, hey, calm all these guys down,
Yeah.
ensure that they're doing the things that they need to do because he's been in those situations before.
agree.
Many times.
Yes, I mean that
Yeah.
guy's heart rate's probably
Yeah.
going to be in the 80s.
Yeah,
like
honestly,
Literally. Literally.
he's born for
Yeah,
these moments.
He is. It'll be fascinating. I think the key parts of this game is the first 4 minutes, how you start, the 8 minutes from the under 4 of the first half to the first 4 of the second half, and then the last 4, the closing and openings of the half. The middle parts are important, yes, don't get me wrong, but how you start halves and how you finish halves is going to be how you win this game.
Yeah.
It's just going to be turnovers, free
Yep.
throws. You got to be able to take care of the ball in those
Absolutely.
scenarios because you get 2 for 1s, you get 3 for 2s. Who's going to have the most possessions? Who's going to be able to save their timeouts and not have to call them early in the first half so you can draw up a play at the end of the first half because you had the use it or lose it timeout. Just stuff like that. How are you going to start the second half? Who's going to have to call timeout first? Just those little mind games of those psychologically do dividends in a game like this.
Absolutely.
That have a ginormous impact anyways. So that'll be fascinating to see who wins those battles.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really. I picked Michigan to win against Arizona. I was 2 for 2.
Yeah, you were 2 for 2.
I
I
was
was
2
0
for 2.
for 2.
Yeah,
That was a
and
bummer.
I got well. To be fair, on the whole season pick'ems, I think I'm still last by a good margin.
It's all right. The ACC will do that to you, Adam.
Yeah, I just picked off of my gut, and
That's okay.
Literally, no analytics were involved whatsoever.
Hey,
so
you need some of that.
I'll do
Yeah.
that in our later segment.
You need to
for,
mix
for
it in.
this.
You need-
But I mean, it was hilarious because is that going to be what decides this game? Is it just going to be a flip of the coin?
Maybe. I
Like,
mean, it could be. I
That's
think.
what people said about Michigan, Arizona, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
Are we overthinking this? Is Michigan just the best team that we've seen since who?
Not to
2015
spoil.
Kentucky?
I feel like if Michigan was playing like a Duke,
Yeah.
don't overthink it. But since they're playing with a team who has a coach,
Yeah.
who has a system,
won.
who's been on Monday night, can transition from the Final Four to the Monday, that's why it's so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
If they were playing like a Houston, they were playing like
Yeah.
a Purdue, an Illinois, a Duke, a Michigan State,
Yeah.
I'd say this is wraps. But
Yeah.
because they're playing with someone with this much experience and this much, I think it's going to be closer than you think. I think Michigan pulls away late. We'll get to that later. But I think that is the wild card and what makes this game so much more beautiful because Connecticut's 9th on KenPom. So
I mean,
let's-
Connecticut's
no,
not
we're
like
not gonna
a
put 'em
bad team. And I think that if Connecticut can slow down this Michigan offense, which is not, that's easier said than done.
Yes, much.
But like if they can, then this game could completely change.
But there's also, I mean, if there's a guy that's going to figure it out, we know who it is.
Dan Hurley.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So, but
I-
also on the flip side, if there's a guy that's going to figure out how to not
Dusty
get
May.
slowed down, it's
Yeah.
Dusty May.
Yeah.
And so I think if I was Dan Hurley, I'm not a coach yet, but you never know. But I will. If I was Dan Hurley, I would pull up that Michigan Duke film, see what Duke did to
Oh,
them,
yeah.
and how they held Michigan to 63 points. That is exactly the first thing I would do.
Yeah.
Call up John Shire.
Because Michigan has the size. Connecticut has the size to match what Duke had, and they had the coaching to match what Duke had, and they had about the same shooting, about the same free throw. They're except for tempo, they have a lot of similarities. And so I would look at that film and see what did Duke do well, especially on the defensive end, to make Cadeau go 1 for 10 from the field, make Michigan only make 5 threes the entire game, slow down their tempo. What did they do to make them play in a more Duke style of pace? That's the first thing I would do if I was Dan
Yeah.
Hurley.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, I think that we've done enough analysis and everything covering this game. So I say that we just get straight
Into the pick 'em?
into
All right.
into picking it.
The last pick of the season. Wow, until November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is absolutely wild to think that since we've started, this is where we're ending up. I would not have picked UConn. I didn't pick UConn.
Yeah.
I picked Virginia to beat Michigan.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was a choice you made.
Yeah, that was all my fault for
Yeah.
saying that I really
ACC.
that was all my fault for saying I believed in that Virginia would go further than Duke.
Yeah, you had to write it.
I'm gonna
That's
make sure
fair.
that I don't start off next season with any hot
yeah,
takes.
Yeah.
No,
Honestly,
all the
that's
hot
what-
takes, Adam.
I think
all
I'll
of
just
them.
Keep it up.
let
Don't worry.
everything
Final
go.
Four. Who's gonna win it all? We're going all hot takes
Yeah.
this year.
We're only
What coach
clip
is getting
next year.
fired?
Who is the
Who's quitting on their team like Chad Baker Mazzara?
Oh my, that was crazy.
How did Chad Baker Mazzara make it in this episode?
He makes it into every episode.
Good night.
I mean, looking back on the season, it's been
been a fun
so
season.
enjoyable,
So good.
and all of these little tidbits and clips that we've been able to
Yeah.
conjure up, and now we're here in the national championship. So
Cal Baptist isn't here.
no, they're not. Unfortunately,
goodness.
Western Illinois is not.
Oh,
Oh, shocker.
No, they'll be there next year. They're winning the Ohio Valley. Send them to March.
Yeah, it was hilarious because yesterday was Easter, and I went downstairs before church, and I was wearing my Western Illinois basketball shirt. It's purple.
Jesus and the
nice and
Leathernecks.
festive.
Hey, I can't wait for the 2-seed Tennessee versus 15-seed Western Illinois matchup next year. It's gonna be great.
My mom was like, "Where did you get that
Oh,
shirt?"
goodness.
I was like, "Mom, it's such a long story."
Clearly,
much
she didn't
time.
listen to the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, she
Yep.
did it. Come on, Mom. My dad listens though. It's okay. He'll tell her off.
Oh goodness.
But we're getting off topic.
Yep.
National championship.
This game.
UConn versus Michigan.
Yep.
Who wants to start?
I'll go ahead and take it.
Ooh,
And, you know,
first guy up. Let's go.
and I think it's pretty clear who I'm going to pick. But before I say that, I need to stop doubting Dan Hurley. I need to stop doubting UConn.
And he's about to doubt him again.
Yeah.
But it's not going to start this season. I'm going to pick Michigan. This team is, again, I've said it time and time again. I thought Michigan was going to be the team I picked. I switched to Arizona. I shouldn't have done that. Michigan's the best team in the nation. I think they're going to win.
Yeah.
They are objectively the best.
They
team.
are
are.
the best team. They're so good.
Number 6 offense,
Yep.
like number 1 defense,
Yep.
number 1 team. They're the
Very
best
good
team in the
team.
nation.
I'm going with Michigan as well. Every bracket I did that I told that people called me for help, told them Michigan. Thought Michigan's the best team all year. My bias took over when I had Duke beating Michigan in the national championship. Maybe next year I won't do bias. And actually
easier to
pick,
say
and
than done.
actually,
That'll never
and
happen.
actually pick the best team. I
Yep.
think I'm going with Michigan. I think Dusty May is going to have a masterclass in him. I think the shooting. I think Michigan is going to own the 3-point line. I think Taurus Reed will get in foul trouble, and I think Michigan's going to win.
Yeah. National championship. This
Let's
is
see
where
it, Adam.
legends will be made, and my legend that will be made is Braylon Mullins.
Okay.
And
He's already made his legend,
He has
to be
already
fair.
he
Yeah.
will cement the most iconic
Yeah.
championship run tonight.
Okay.
He
Okay.
will do it.
What's he going to do?
He's gonna hit a game winner.
Oh,
That's what he's gonna
Calling
do.
your shot.
Yes, he's gonna hit a
Wow.
game winner
From 3?
over Yaxel Lindenborg
From 3.
From 3. And
It's be the
UConn's
same
gonna win this
exact
game.
setup as the Duke game. They're going to get a
Yes.
steal. And
No, they're not gonna get. That was the luckiest steal I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
entire
Dan
life.
Hurley. This is going to be out of a timeout.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
We're getting very
All
specific.
right, Tay, let's take notes.
But UConn is going to win this game.
All
It is
right.
going to be a nail biter, and the only reason they are going to win this game is because Dan Hurley is like the best coach, and Dusty May is only number 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
if UConn does win this, I'm picking UConn to win championship. I don't care what seed they are. I don't
goodness.
care. Like,
Yeah.
I will pick UConn from here on out.
Literally.
Because
11
this
seed
is just
UConn.
unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that UConn wins this game. There is nothing telling me that they should win. Zero. There's nothing. But there was nothing telling me that they should beat Illinois.
Or
These statistics
or Duke.
Or
the-
Duke.
or
They
Du-
shouldn't have
these
beaten them.
statistics were all in Illinois'
Yeah.
favor. They
Yep.
were all in Duke's favor.
Yep.
And once and time again, UConn has found a way to deliver. The
always
The
UConn.
cardiac
Yes.
Huskies are going to find a way. Braylon Mullins is going to submit himself in March history. And that shot
would be
against
unbelievable.
that shot against Duke
Yeah.
is going to be live in legend because I mean it already is.
It
already
is.
is.
I
but
mean, it
it's
would
going-
get if he does what Adam said though. That no one's going to remember that Duke shot.
Yeah.
it's going
that's
to
it.
it's going to live in legend as the shot that got UConn to their 7th national championship. since
Okay.
2000.
If UConn does win tonight, that Braylon Mullins shot, in my opinion, is the second best shot in tournament history
Yeah.
behind Chris Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think
because
that's
it
fair.
leads them to a national championship game, and it's down 2. They lose if he misses that shot. They lose. It's a 40-footer, and it's the purest swish I think I've ever
I don't know. I don't
crazy.
know about second. Now that I'm thinking about it, it took it like Christian Leitner.
Christian Leitner's was a free throw line jumper.
Yeah, but
that's
like
where
but the situation.
This was a
that
40
situation was
it's,
crazy.
It's called the shot.
I know,
This-
but I think there's a lot of just nostalgia.
But also,
around
Christian,
that, but-
Christian Leitner was in the Elite 8 too.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but oh my God, the situation, the inbounds
I-
pass. the
I mean,
fact that
getting
he
the
took a
steal the
dribble.
way that
I think
that
Braylon
happened
Mullins
for
is
UConn.
more wild, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
I mean,
Braylon Mullins
we
is
can
a
have this-
40-footer who was 0 for 4 from 3 on the day, and the team was at one point 1 for 18 from 3. And he
We can have
splashed
this
it.
conversation in the off season.
Yeah.
But
Point being, amazing shots.
yes, both of them.
Don't worry, we'll discuss the portal first before our Braylon Mullins shot in the offseason.
But that is not gonna overtake the fact that UConn is going to win.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Going to win
Okay.
this game.
Hey, I like that you're standing by it, so I got to respect that.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
I was 0 for 2 on Saturday.
Yes, I was
so,
too. I'm putting
50-50.
my undefeated Final Four
Yeah.
record on the
I did
line.
win the conference championship and the faction challenge. Just saying.
And
So
David won the overall.
yeah, he
so-
did.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
No,
Adam, next year.
Next
That's
year,
your.
next year I'll win the bracket.
Should we announce our result? So, guys, unfortunately, none of us had Michigan or UConn
Yeah.
winning the national
No, we did
championship.
not.
No.
So, I guess we could announce who won our bracket. But
Yes, let's do that. Let's do it.
Mike, let's just give you a head start. Michael won the
Yeah, I was
bracket.
gonna say. I think we
By
already
like-
gave that away.
By like a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta say it was a real bummer though, because I did get up to 75th in the nation at one point, and now I am 629,000th.
Hey, which is
And
still
so-
top 1 million and
I know.
97%.
I know, but a real bummer that happened, but that's okay.
It's okay.
It happens.
And then so it went Michael, me, Adam, and then the decider of it. Adam, I don't even know if you knew this.
I just checked.
You
what
had
rank I am.
you had Arizona, and I had Michigan, the Natty. So if Arizona would have won, you would have got second. If Michigan would have won, I would have got second.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys, my my bracket is 15 million.
Oh no.
Hey, that's kind of middle of the
Hey,
pack.
that's
if
the
you think
thing. Is
about
that
it.
like,
That's so bad.
yeah.
Hey.
I'm on a college basketball podcast.
That's
bro.
okay.
Hey,
I don't want to be.
I
middle
will
of the pack.
attribute that to one thing: the ACC.
ACC.
All the
Yep,
ACCs.
yep.
It's all Miami,
Yeah.
Virginia's.
I mean, and Houston too.
At least you have something that you based your picks off of. You could have just been like 50%, and you're just like, I'm just picking.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
at least
true.
you had a reason to make your picks.
That's very true. Yes, but congratulations, Michael.
Yes.
on-
Thank you. Thank you.
You didn't run away with it.
No, it looked like it was going to for a minute, but then once and that Arizona lost, it was
Michigan
tough.
helped me. If I would have had Michigan
Or Duke lost, yeah.
winning in the Natty overall,
Yeah.
we
Well,
could-
yeah.
we could have had something. But yeah, the Michigan pick. I'm just shocked. I said this when we did our
Yep.
pick for the March Madness. I'm shocked none of us had Michigan.
I mean, I was gonna pick
we're
Michigan the whole
stupid.
season until the
We are
week
stupid.
before the bracket came out. I
Yeah.
don't know what I was thinking.
hey, life happens.
That was disappointing. I should have
The
switched. to
Wildcats were crawling.
Michigan. Yeah, they were.
They literally. I mean,
Yeah,
I tried
there's
to be
one person I
special
blame,
picking
but that's
Houston
okay.
For the 5th year in a row, and they let me down.
Bro,
again.
I was the highest on Houston out of all of us.
I
I
picked
was
them to
so
win the
low on
Natty.
Houston
Yeah.
the whole season.
I was so high on Houston.
Take it.
Hey.
Take it.
I was high on Houston and low on Iowa State, and they both got out in the same round. Does
Yep,
that
yep.
just equalize my hot takes out? I guess.
I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, Tennessee and Illinois really helped me.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. Thank you.
Rick Barnes.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're done talking about the
Yep.
national championship.
Yep.
Michael has won our bracket, even though he did not pick Michigan.
No.
And
That's okay.
that is our analysis for this episode. And I mean, it's going to be great. I have a major test tomorrow, guys. And-
I do too. It's called the national championship game.
Well, that's tonight, but
yeah, and my professor just has no idea because
Yeah.
like
come
man.
on. The day
Yeah.
after the national championship.
What are we
Yeah.
doing?
Come
Let's put him on the podcast next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Let's get him on
What are
here.
you doing?
Come on, Professor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
What you know about Yaxel Lindeborg?
He
Well, you
knows
better
nothing.
hope that Michigan just pulls away then.
Yes,
It's not a
Yeah,
case.
literally.
that's true. But I want my prediction to be correct.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
yeah, well,
But
he ain't watching the. I mean, he ain't looking at his test tonight,
Yeah.
guys.
I'm gonna try.
Sorry,
okay?
Miss Harper.
I was gonna say.
Try. But that is our analysis.
Yep.
This is the national
End of the season.
championship, the end of the season, and the portal is open.
Yep.
So
Yep.
make sure that you stay tuned for all the coming podcasts.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere,
We're not
boys.
going anywhere. And Portal Madness is just going to get started.
Portal.
You get to hear David's vocal stem
Portal.
that he loves to say.
Portal.
So make sure that you stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on all socials.
Yep.
And thank you guys for watching.
God bless.
Thank you.
Yep. God bless.